What's up, everybody? My name is Joe Brown, and this is Heresy Financial. A couple days ago, the Treasury released an announcement about something that they're going to try and have the IRS do, which is basically they're going to try and have the IRS monitor every single transaction that happens in every bank account and every investment account, like your brokerage account, and that includes accounts at crypto exchanges like your Coinbase account. And so we're going to dive into the details here because this is kind of flying under the radar here. Ready? Let's dive in. All right, I'll link this document. It's straight from, as you can see, straight from the Treasury's website. I'll link it in the description below. We are going to be focusing on page 88. That is where this is talked about here. All right, so basically the reason for this is to try and prevent a loss of tax revenue from people who are either purposefully or accidentally misreporting their taxes, their income, especially for business accounts. They estimate, $166 billion a year is lost revenue, because basically when you're running a small business, if you submit your information for taxes, you're not telling the IRS every single expense and every single income. You're just netting them all together, basically. And so they're saying, okay, well, we need to know all the transactions. We want to collect that data because then we can make sure that you're doing this accurately. Basically, auditing every single person, every single transaction, everywhere. And this information is already out there, right? This is something that basically the Patriot Act has been doing similar, not to this extent, but for 20 years now. So the proposal, it would create a comprehensive financial account information reporting regime. The use of the word regime there is just ironic. But financial institutions would report data on financial accounts in an information return. So the burden would be placed on the financial institutions. So Fidelity, Chase, wherever you have any accounts, they would basically send your whole list of transactions to the IRS. Probably once a year, and they'd probably just have some basic software that would sift through all the data. And anytime you have a certain amount of suspicious transactions, some of the transactions that they're saying they're watching out for are let's see, a breakdown for outflows for physical cash. When you have a transaction with a foreign bank account or a foreign account, transfers to and from another account with the same owner. So if you got two bank accounts, there's let's say a suspicious amount or transaction amounts between accounts that you own. Those would be potentially flagged for somebody to look deeper into. So basically, you've heard me talk about central bank digital currencies a lot, right? That if you use a central bank digital currency, the main difference between that and just a regular bank account with dollars in it is that it eliminates the bank as the middleman, right? That's what a CBDC is. It's you have an account directly with the central bank instead of with a bank who then has their account with the central bank. And then that allows at one centralized source to have information to every transaction. Whereas right now, your bank has that information. And if you have, transactions over certain amounts or suspicious looking transactions where you have the same amount coming in and going out, and somebody notices that, your bank teller notices that, whatever, then they file an anti-money laundering incident form, and that goes up the chains, and somebody looks into it to see, hey, is there anything else suspicious going on? Is this, he's just, sending money to his grandma for rent or whatever. This basically eliminates the middleman without having to go the route of the central bank digital currency. So this is like one step towards the tyranny of no privacy on any financial transactions whatsoever. And there's a lot of problems with banks right now, right? Because banks have the ability to see all of that. They have the ability to stop those transactions. If you run a business where you're if you're running a business involved in cannabis, let's say, many banks do not allow you to have your business accounts with them. If you're running a business with pew-pews, many banks will not allow you to do business with them. If you're running a business where you're buying and selling gold, like many gold dealers have problems maintaining their business accounts. This is simply the power that a banking cartel has. But with all the problems, there's still some level of competition. There's still some level of decentralization there because there's multiple banks, multiple companies offering those services, right? This completely eliminates that and takes it all straight to the source without even having to go that route of a CBDC. And now the IRS is going to be able to see every transaction. And so if the government wants to then say, hey, this type of activity is not allowed, they know everybody who's doing it. And they can come after you. They could do there's just all, and so the typical response that I always see to stuff like this is, why should I care? I'm not doing anything illegal. I have nothing to hide. That may be true right now. But what happens when after they collect the information, they make something illegal that's not wrong that you're already doing? Because once you have the capacity to monitor every single thing that happens, then you have the capacity to legislate about it. And this also says that the secretary would be given broad authority to issue regulations necessary to implement this proposal, and it would be effective for tax years beginning after December 31st, 2022. So this is a proposal that has to get through some legal jump through some legal loopholes, and the main one is probably going to be the Fourth Amendment. And you can see right here, the Fourth Amendment is the one that protects people from unreasonable searches and seizures by the government, and technically that includes information. Now, what I will say about this is that the Fourth Amendment has done nothing for the Patriot Act, right? And that's been a 20-year process of unreasonable searches and seizures of our information, our financial history for 20 years straight, and nobody cares. And so I wouldn't put all my faith in the Fourth Amendment or in the people who are in power unless this is just something that completely blows up. And we've seen politicians backtrack on proposals and things like this because things become too publicized and unpopular. So that's part of the reason why I'm making this video, so everybody can know more about it, so they can push back and raise some public outcry about it. But ultimately, I'm not that confident that something like this can't just make its way through, because it seems like these days most people are mostly okay with, yeah, do anything you want. I just trust you have my best interests at heart. So we'll see what happens. I'll keep you updated if there's any new information on this. But right now, that's the proposal that the Treasury is trying to give the IRS the power to watch literally every single transaction that happens in everybody's account, unless the account is below $600, which is basically nobody. So that's all I have for you today. As always, I really appreciate you guys. Thanks so much for watching. Have a great day.